welcome back to Legacy Her Way. What does it mean to build a legacy on your own terms? Hi, I'm Tanya Hendrix, and this is Legacy Her Way, the podcast where we explore how women are creating powerful personal legacies through family, faith, business, community, and beyond. From foster moms to founders, creatives to caregivers, we go beyond the buzzwords to talk about real life, real impact, and the values that guide it all. Whether you're building wealth, raising kids, or launching your next big thing, this space is for you. This episode is sponsored by Huntsville Estate Planning Lawyer, LLC, where we empower your vision and secure your future through estate planning and trademarks. So let's talk legacy, her way, your way. And today we're talking about Barbara Walker's legacy and how she's building her legacy, her way. Today's guest is someone who I think you're going to find intriguing, exciting to hear from. Barbara Walker is the founder of WIN Consulting. WIN Consulting specializes in helping businesses secure funding tailored to their needs. WIN Consulting provides expert grant writing and management to help you secure funding and navigate the complex requirements of managing the awarded funds confidently and accurately. Whether you're a startup just getting off the ground or an established business looking to scale, they can help. For startups, they offer tailored solutions to help you move forward. And for established businesses, they help you access funding to meet your growth needs. At WIN Consulting, they are committed to finding the right financial solutions to help your business thrive. Welcome to the show, Barbara.
Thank you so much for having me, Tanya. Thanks.
Awesome. I'm so excited for you to be here and to share a little bit about you and your business. So let's first introduce you to the audience. I gave the introduction for your business, but who are you? Who is Barbara Walker?
All right. Well, I am originally from Zambia, Tanya. That's in Africa. I relocated to the United States in 2013. My husband is from Mississippi. And so when I first moved here, our first stop was Mississippi. We moved to the Huntsville area in 2018, and this is home.
Okay. So you've been, how long have you been in the United States?
So I've been here since 2013.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been a minute.
Okay.
I moved when that country boy from Mississippi proposed, and I said a huge yes. So here I am.
Well, how did you meet that country boy from Mississippi if you're from Zambia?
On a dating site, believe it or not. Back then, it was a lot safer. I don't know what it is now. I haven't been in since, we met. But back then, it was a lot easier, I think, from the stories that I'm hearing now. But yeah, on a dating site.
That's how I met my husband. So it works. It absolutely works.
It does. It does.
All right. So tell us a little bit about, there has to be some differences in Mississippi and Alabama and Zambia. So tell us a little bit about how you've navigated those differences.
It's been a journey, I'll tell you that. It's been a huge change just leaving family because I'm the only one here. My siblings are back in Zambia, and getting into a whole different culture has been a journey in its own. But I am a very observant person. I like to read. I like to read situations and see where I'm at in the moment, and then just settle in. So I adapt. I've adapted quite a bit. I can even cook some Southern meals. So it's really been a journey, Tanya, but it's nothing that I wouldn't change. Knowing how different people live in different areas has been huge, very global, and I think from that I've grown quite a bit.
Well, and that actually is a great place to start. I was actually going to start this conversation talking about your business, but I really think starting here where you just talked about being global, understanding different cultures and how different people live is extremely important. What is something, you've had to navigate those worlds. You've had to navigate different cultures, because I know you and I talked previously. You didn't just go from Zambia to Mississippi and Alabama. You've lived in other parts of the world too, haven't you?
No, just really it's been long-term living has been Zambia, Mississippi, then Alabama.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
So what is something, well, if there's someone who is trying to navigate a different
Hmm.
culture,
Hmm.
what advice would you give them?
Stay open-minded. Stay
Mhm.
open-minded, be open to learning new things. You have got to take up being a lifelong learner. That has proven very useful for me. And so I'm trying to put that in my kids as well. I have two wonderful boys. And so I expose them as much as I can to the Zambian culture as I do here, so they can have that worldview, see things in different perspectives, for lack of a better way to say it. So yeah, stay open-minded.
What are some of those values and traditions from your Zambian culture and family that you're passing down, whether intentionally or not intentionally?
Intentionally is the belief that family is everything. Have each other's backs, love each other, be there for each other. Um, it's not just that's the big thing that I miss about back home is the community. Raising kids is a communal thing. I know the world is changing a lot, but it's that cousinship and that sisterhood, and it's a lot different from it is over here. And so that's the big piece that I like my kids to understand, that your brother is your person. Have each other's backs, love each other, be there for each other.
Have your sons, because I know your family is in Zambia. Does your husband have family still in the Mississippi or Alabama areas?
They're all in Mississippi.
Okay. Have your
Yeah.
have your sons been able to kind of build that cousin relationship with family, your husband's family in Mississippi? Because I know it's hard to go to Zambia. You can't just go down the street. It's not just a couple hours to get there. So
Uh-huh.
they had that opportunity to build those family relationships. Well, let me ask it this way.
Mhm.
The legacy you're passing down to your sons about that need for family and that community, are you seeing
Mhm.
it play out through them, whether it's through your husband's family or maybe it's with their friends here in the Huntsville, Madison area?
I try as much as I can to, during the summer, send them over to Mississippi without my husband and I being there, just so they can be that, they can be in that world, get to know everybody over there, without us being an influence in one way or another. And then over here, also encouraging those friendships. That started at a young age. I know my oldest has this friend he's had since we moved here, really, and they're still friends now. It's just really nice to see them grow up together and just be these young, adorable men. So yes, encouraging it here, encouraging it in Mississippi, that's a big thing for me.
So, taking that concept of family and how important it is to have that community, how
Mhm.
have you taken that value? Because I think that is tremendous value. How have you taken that to your business at WIN Consulting? How have you used that with your business?
So the big piece for WIN Consulting has been building business relationships. Well, not just build business relationships, but relationships that you take over. They start as business, but you get to have a connection with somebody. Um, that's a big deal for me. Seeing as I have had to start over in a lot of areas, Tanya, leaving my family and my friends over in Zambia. These are people I grew up with. I moved here when, yeah, I'm not going to give up my age, but I moved here when I was an adult. And
Yeah.
so building friendships and connections as an adult is not easy. It's easier when you're young. And so I just try to bring my all to different relationships that I get into business wise. Joining different networking groups, that has been huge. Building that community and learning from some of the other seasoned businesses is huge for me. Remember, I'm coming from a different culture, right? This is a culture where sometimes when you look at somebody direct in the eye for too long, you will be perceived as being rude, or you're just, you have to look down. But here, you're now trying to build business relationships, and looking somebody in the eye is a way to show that trust. I'm here, I'm in this conversation, let's talk about it. And so I've got to remember where I'm at and make sure that I'm doing things the right way. So those are some of the other pieces that you got to put into perspective.
What are you doing? You mentioned going to networking groups and that you need to build those relationships, and that's important. It is important for business. I mean, we were talking before we started recording that people want to do business with those they know, like, and trust. And so you have to build those relationships to build your business, because people need to know who you are. They need to know they can trust you. What have you done? Because you have had to navigate a different culture, a different way of everything here. Um, what have you done? Like, take us through some of the things that you have done to be intentional about building those relationships. I know going to the networking events, but when you go to the networking events, do you just sit in the corner and wait for people to come to you? Do you go to them? What I want to do, because we do want to talk about the real steps, like real life of what does it look like to build a business. And
Mhm.
so how have you done that? How have you built those relationships?
So networking is not something that has come naturally to me. It's something that I've had to grow into. Having been in the workforce for quite a while, where the only thing, especially remote work, where the only thing that you're doing is sitting behind a computer. I mean, that's my happy place, right? Give me an Excel sheet and I will excel at it. But then now it comes to actually speaking to people, because I'm running a business, my own business, that I got to introduce to people, that I got to show that I know what I'm doing. And
Mhm.
so I have had to step out and step up. When I go to these networking events, I have to be intentional about talking to people, introducing myself. But obviously, it's not about, hey, I'm Barbara WIN Consulting, this is what I do. It's, hi, want to hear more about your business. And if it comes natural, I'll talk about mine. But I have had to be very intentional with it, Tanya, because I guess maybe I am an introvert. And so when you're in an environment like that, that's very different from what you like or where you want to be. Um, it takes a lot, but it also takes a lot of growth, which is something I'm very happy about. I never saw, if you asked me this 5 years ago, are you going to be running WIN Consulting and talking to people that way? I probably would have said no. But here I am now, and I think I'm doing pretty good so far.
You are. I mean, I've seen you out at networking events and you're talking to people, you're gathering information about people. And I think you've said a couple of things so far that have just been crucial, and it's key to your success. One, you're a lifelong learner. Never stop learning. You're open-minded. And because you are open-minded and you're a learner, it feeds into the next thing that you just mentioned, in that when you approach someone at a networking event or wherever, it's not, hi, I'm Barbara, I have WIN Consulting, this is how I can help you. It's, hi, I'm Barbara, who are you? Tell me about you. And so you're interested, you're curious about those people. Everyone wants to talk about themselves. And so when you
Mhm.
get someone talking about themselves, then they're going to show, I mean, one, you've met a new friend, you've met a new person, but two, they may turn around and ask you about you, but then they're going to remember you because you showed an interest in them. And so you've done
Yep.
great at that. And I think that was a great tip for the listeners. I don't want that to just get kind of brushed by, because I think it is huge that you take that step of, hi, I'm Barbara, who are you? And tell me about you. So,
Right. Thank you. Thanks, Tanya. Thanks for that. It has
yes.
it, it's been through observing. Really, like I said, it didn't come natural to me. I like to, in the beginning, kind of stay in the background and observe how people do it and then learn that way.
Mhm.
So that has been huge.
Yeah. But
Mhm.
tell us about WIN Consulting. I know you said 5 years ago you wouldn't have imagined being here. So how did your business and this mission get sparked and grow?
All right. So it sparked full time from a very uncomfortable work situation. So I worked for a nonprofit some time back, and I feel like leadership failed me.
Mhm.
Okay. And so with my financial background, I started to think, what else can I do that's different from what I'm doing now? I have a passion for nonprofit work. Sometimes it got really hard, but what kept me in it was the results of the work that we did. I may not go out and run these programs, but on the finance side, I know what the numbers, bless you, I know what the numbers are doing for the community. And so that's why I stayed. But when the job gets hard and the leadership gets hard, it's hard for you to stay.
Mhm.
So my mindset changed to what can I do different? How can I step out of this, but still continue with what I like to do? Okay. So I thought about starting my own nonprofit, but I had a few limitations there. So I thought, okay, it's a small business. What are some of the issues that I see that businesses have that I can step into and help? And so the gap was that business financing that I don't remember the percentage exactly, but a certain percentage number of businesses fell due to funding. And so I joined a company that helps train you to be a business financer or help businesses get funded. So I joined, I did the training, and then in October last year, I went into WIN Consulting full time as a business that helps businesses get funded. A few months down the road, I still felt that passion for nonprofits, and I know the work. I got a certification in grant writing. I was like, I can still get into helping the community one or another. And so I started my grant writing part of business for WIN Consulting and also grant management. So that's how it grew. From there, it's just really doors have been opening, is all I can say. And I am so thankful.
But
Mhm.
what was it about helping business owners? I know you and your husband had several businesses, and you realized that a lot of the problems with the businesses and running businesses comes down to financing. So what is it about helping the business owners with the financing that has been passionate for you and that's kind of prompted you to be part of WIN Consulting?
So, what it is about small businesses is that small businesses are what, from my research and what I've found is that small businesses may mostly are family-owned businesses. A small business or small family that starts a business and it's feeding into our economy. It's the small businesses that help feed into our economy. But most of these small businesses don't make it because they do not have the funding that they need to either get started or have the cash flows on hand that they need for them to run the business.
Mhm.
That was our issue too. We had a number of business ideas that we wanted to start with, right? But funding was always an issue. Whether it's putting together the paperwork that's most needed by banks, they can be very conservative on how or which organizations or which startups that they're able to fund. And so that led into a research on how do small businesses survive, right? Where do they get the funding that they need for them to run the business that they started, or even for them to start a business? And so when I went into this training, that was at the back of my mind. Let me learn ways in which I can help businesses get funded. And so in that process, the company that trained me also introduces you to lenders. These are vetted lenders that you can pair your clients with. So I am the middleman. Tanya comes to me and she needs financing. So I do a consultation with you to see where you at, what you need. And then on the back end, I see which of my lenders I'm able to pair you up with so you can get funded. So Tanya can be just getting started, right? You have this huge business, wonderful business idea that you want to run with. My lenders are able to assist you with that. Or Tanya has been in business for a set number of years or months, making certain X number in revenue. So I do have some lenders that I can pair you up with so you can run with it. And now we've now even added on to the grants, right? You're a nonprofit. You have this huge idea that you're working on that helps the community. I am able to find those funding opportunities for you, write the grant if you need me to, and then help you get funded that way.
What is the most common misconception that people have about working with you? So do they think that they have to have a certain amount of money to even approach you? what is it that would keep someone from talking to you about getting business financing?
Just not knowing what the process is or if it's a possibility for them to get funding. That's a big deal. Oh, I didn't know I could apply for this. Or I'm just starting. I know the bank's not going to give me any money, so I'm just not going to start the business, There's options. There are so many options, apart from you just getting a loan or a business line of credit, you can actually get a grant. This is money you don't have to pay back. They're very rare to find, but there are grants that are for small businesses or startups. So give it a shot. That's what I do. That's my role in all this. Come to me, tell me what it is that you need. And then I will guide you in the process to get you to where you need to be. Now, if it all turns out that I am unable to help you, that is one of the things that I'll tell you, hey, I am unable to help you with this because of this. Let's do this so I can get you there. Throwing those options out there and telling you, kind of guiding you through that process. That's why I'm here.
That's awesome that you're able to give them some guidance, even if you're not able to get funding for them,
Mhm,
that you're able to say, this is what you need to do to get to the point where you can get funding, or these are some steps to take. So I think that's
mhm,
important for anybody who was wanting to start a business, because starting a business is expensive. I mean, it can be very expensive.
mhm,
And for you to be able to have and offer help to small businesses and letting them know that there are options, whether it's through loans or grants, whatever it may be. But even
mhm.
if for some reason someone doesn't qualify, you can help them. You can still help them get on the right track. So I think it's important for people to know that either way, just reaching out to you to start the conversation,
Yeah,
that you can help them one way or the other.
yeah, that's right.
How does your business reflect your values? I
So
think
when it comes to, oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tanya. Did I
we've
break?
heard so much of your heart, and you got very animated and excited talking about funding and helping business owners. So that's certainly a passion of yours. So how does it reflect your values?
When it comes to money and numbers, you have to be one, very trustworthy, very transparent in what you're doing, um, and set expectations. That's the big piece. At the onset, when I get with my clients, you tell me what it is that you're looking for, you would like. In my consultation, the big part is setting expectations on what's going to happen going forward. So I like to bring my all. When
Mhm.
I enjoy something, I bring my passion to it. Um, and so when I'm explaining to you what it is I'm going to do for you, my word is everything, Tanya. My reputation is everything because WIN Consulting is my vision for WIN Consulting is not a 1 year deal. I'm done. I've done funding businesses. I'm out. No, I want to be here for a long time. I want people to remember the work that I'm doing, the help that I'm bringing to the table. So it's important that I bring me,
Mhm.
Barbara, and Barbara wants you to see how she's running her business because I'm going to be transparent in how I do things. I'm going to set those expectations so there are no surprises. Well, it doesn't always happen that way. There could be something that comes up, but I'm going to set the expectation that something could come up that I have not discussed with you. That's just the nature of the way business runs. Not every situation is the same. Not every client is the same. Not every lender is the same. So it's just you will get the authentic me. That's all I can give.
Well, and it probably also goes back to what we talked about at the beginning of the show, where you come from a culture that is about community and building those relationships. And that's what, someone that's going to work with you and share financial details. And for many people, our finances are extremely private. We don't want to share with anybody. It's nobody's business. And so to share those things with you, you have to have that relationship. You have to build that community with them so that they can trust you
Mhm.
and trust you to the point they're going to be sharing those financials with you and sharing their goals and dreams with you. I'm sure you hear a lot of goals and dreams from people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, I have some goals and I have some huge dreams, right? But that's where it starts. You have got to have those goals. You have got to dream. You have got to dream because that's where your start is. It starts with that big dream. Um, for me, yeah, I have some huge dreams. I had them when I was younger. I have them now. I continue to dream. That's what helps me go to the next step. That's what helps me build those goals and go step by step. Wake up every morning, say a prayer, and just ask for that guidance and keep on going. So I do hear a lot of issues that certain clients or businesses go through, but my role in all this is to see how I can help you. How can I help you with your goal, and how can I help you with your dream? Am I able to help you? Can I send you to somebody that will fix that little issue that you got going on, and then I'll help you? So it's just a circle of working together and being collaborative at every level.
If you don't mind sharing, what are some of your goals and dreams?
Oh, I want to change the world, Tanya. So, my mom has been a huge impact in my life. She died back in 2021, but it's what she put in me is huge. I did not realize it at the time, but her words, her encouragement, her push for her kids, and I'll just speak for me. Her push in my life is huge. Her name needs to live on. So my goal and my dream is to build a Lucky Ngando Foundation. That was her name. Her name was Lucky, and Miss Lucky changed my life. I get very emotional when I start talking about her, so I'm sorry. But she has just been a huge impact in my life. And most of the things that I do that help me grow are as a result of her advice, her gentle nudge. She was just a really huge impact in my life, Tanya, and her name has got to live on.
Mhm.
Hmm.
What are you doing? So if you don't mind talking, I know it's very difficult to talk about your mom, but or not difficult, but just emotional. What's your goal in honoring her? What's your dream or goal in honoring her and that legacy that you're trying to build for her?
So my mom was very passionate about girl child education and women development. Um, Through her name, I want to help girls. And my focus on helping girls is with their education. Um, my mom often gave herself as an example, right? I don't talk a lot, I don't talk much about my dad because he wasn't that much of a big impact in my life the way that my mom was. And so she always gave herself as an example in women development. If she did not go to school, if she did not get the credentials that she got, in order to secure employment and provide for her kids, where would we have been? That is always playing in my head, right? I have a very supportive husband, very supportive. But I still have that sense of independence as a woman because I want to bring something to the table other than just my looks. so, I'm always constantly thinking, what else can I do? What else can I do to live up to the expectations that my mom had for me? I Coming here was, when I say coming here, is moving to the United States was a huge, not drawback, but a huge restart, like a reset. I was close to getting a CPA equivalent when I was in Zambia at the time that I was moving. It's a program called ACCA, um, Association of Certified Chartered Accountants. And so it is a British program. So when I moved here, I thought I would transfer my credits from the British system to the American system. That was hard. So I had to start over. At the time, my mom was still alive. And so I did my associate's degree all over again, Tanya. And I already had a career going. And I was very picky on what work I wanted to do because I already had a career. So I figured, all right, so let me do an associate's in accounting and then hopefully they'll count my experience and I can use it in a job. And they did. So my first job was actually with H&R Block. I did taxes.
Uh-huh.
I finished my associates. I immediately got into my bachelor's degree. I got my bachelor's and I was like, you know what? I might as well just do my master's. So I did my master's in accounting as well. And after I completed my master's in 2019, in 2024, I was looking back. Um, I like to look at what I've done in years to see how much have I grown or how much have I developed. The only thing I could show for was a job. I mean, I have a wonderful husband and wonderful kids, but professionally, what had I done to go to the next level? I really couldn't find anything. Um, I had a good job, right? It was decent earnings, but this just that one big, huge step that I always got to take a couple of years so I can grow myself. And so now I got into a PhD. So I'm doing a PhD in organizational leadership. And and in the back of my mind, I'm just thinking my mom was here. Oh my gosh, she'll be so excited because she was that person. You will do something and she'll push you, good job, or you can do this, keep on going. That's what I miss the most.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
in one, I would say your mom would is extremely proud of you. I mean, you've accomplished a lot, even though you may not see it. You've accomplished a lot in what you have done to get to the point where you're at now, and you're helping other businesses. So you're passing on that education that your mom values because you're educating business owners. And I would assume, I don't know, we haven't talked about this, but I would assume you probably have educated a lot of women business owners. And through this podcast, you're educating women business owners. So you're passing down that education, that lifelong
Mhm.
learning, that value of lifelong learning and education that your mom instilled in you. So you're continuing that legacy of your mom. And so I just want
Oh,
you to know that she'd be very proud of you.
well, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, and speaking of legacy, we're going to wrap this up here in a few minutes, but what if you could write a letter to your great granddaughter, what would it say? What advice would you give to her?
It would start with, girl, you got this. Your great grandma was Barbara Walker. You got this.
That's your great brother was Barbara Walker. That's it. Very good.
Right, right. But my great granddaughter, oh man, never stop dreaming. Do not be afraid to start over. Do not be afraid to be vulnerable because in that vulnerability, there's something to learn about you. Do not be afraid to be in a room that's full of people that know more than you do. That's where you want to be.
Mhm,
Soak up every information you can get from everybody, baby, because you will need it.
mhm.
Yeah. Other than that, I love you.
Well, I think that's something we can certainly all take and learn is that one, don't be afraid to start over. And I think one of the things that the listeners of the podcast have heard time and again are from women who have pivoted at some point. They started a new career or done something differently. So, yeah, don't be afraid to start over and to soak in all the information that you can. I mean, just be a sponge. Again, that goes back to the legacy your mom gave you as far as education that you're passing on. You just have
Mhm.
this thread running throughout your life about education. And so you can certainly your mother's imprint is on you. Her handprint is all throughout your life. All
Mhm.
right. So to wrap this up, if someone wants to work with you, how can they find you?
So you can give me a call. I like to speak directly with my clients because we're talking about money. I don't like to keep it just email. We're talking about something that's very sensitive. That's your finances. Give me a call. Call me on 256-998-3733, and we'll do a discovery call. In that discovery call, you will do more talking than I will because I want to hear where you at. What is your issue? How can Barbara help you? Not so much how can WIN Consulting help you because that's the umbrella of it, but you're working with me. So I want to know more about you so I can figure out how I can help you.
And we'll also in the show notes have a link to your website and maybe your socials. I know that you're on LinkedIn and some other of the social media sites. So we'll have a link to your LinkedIn profile as well as your website. Barbara, thank
Awesome.
you
Thank you.
so much for being with us today and passing on your mom's legacy of education that you are now passing on to others. and the legacy that you have of encouraging people to be lifelong learners, to be open-minded, to be willing to embrace other cultures, other people, people that sound differently, look differently, have different food. You talked about having to adjust to the Southern way of cooking, which is probably quite different from what you were used to, because it's quite different from other places in the in the U.S. Um, but I love it. I love the Southern food. That's where I was raised on. All right. So thank you all so much for listening to Legacy Her Way. If today's conversation inspired you, moved you, or made you think differently about what legacy means, you're not alone. Be sure to follow the show so you never miss an episode. And if you're feeling generous, leave a review. That's going to help more women find inspiration and their own path to legacy. And be sure that you subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. We don't want to miss any more gems and nuggets of wisdom like you heard today from Barbara. This show just blew me away. So I thank you so much for Barbara for being here. So until next time, keep building boldly, loving deeply, and living your legacy her way. Bye.